Hello, this is your host Akhil Navluri, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Yexle podcast
Here, the
series.
English Premier League and the UEFA Champions League fever is increasing with every match. So is my curiosity of connecting with different industry leaders is also increasing doublefold with every episode. So today we will be connecting with three different industry leaders from three different geographical locations. We have Mr. Simon Chadwick, who is the Assistant Vice President of Yexle, covering the regions of Europe, Middle East, and Africa, who's based out of the UK. Mr. Arvind Venkat Narasimhan, who is the global pre-sales and who is based out of the United States, and Mr. Sriram Suresh, who is the lead consultant and the Appian architect, who's based out of Canada. So today's topic is going to be pre-sales and the architectural support for the pre-sales. So it gives me a huge honor to have you three for this brand new episode of the Excel podcast series. So Simon, kickstarting the podcast. So Simon, I've got to know that the pre-sales acts as a bridge between the tech team and the marketing team. So how important is it for the pre-sales team to know both the skills to drive the process further?
Between the two of them, so marketing and the technical side of things, and like I say, bridging that gap between the two. Yeah, it's a loop, a bit of a feedback loop, if I can say that. So knowing what is coming from marketing, how you're working with your marketing team and personnel, what work they're doing and what initiatives they're working with, and also working with their sales team, what strategies they're working on, and how that's feeding your pipeline of work, I think is important. What is coming through in terms of the quality of the new opportunities or the clients that are coming through because of the marketing strategies we're working on, and providing that feedback loop back into marketing is important. So understanding how that process and how that connection works between those two parties is definitely important, and knowing how that pipeline and that funnel, we talk about the sales funnel, the top of the funnel where there's lots of leads, and how that slowly comes down into the actual single opportunities that go forward to being projects and things. So knowing that cycle and how that works together is really important. And then also from the other side of things on technical is again, on the pre-sales, you're starting that engagement with the client and having those initial conversations with the client. So knowing your product, Appian in this case for us, and our capabilities as Yexle as being a very strong delivery partner and a managed services partner to Appian, and being able to relay those bits of information of Appian, our services to the client as part of that, and the technical attributes again are important to help move that client and that opportunity kind of down the sales funnel. So yeah, very important parts on knowing both sides of the equation.
So everything like is just like a sorted out kind of a thing. Like it's acting as a bridge. So once the bridge is amended, and there's no stopping from there, I believe. Right, Simon?
Yeah, absolutely. And the more that you can know, I think, from the technical side on any platform or any technology is only going to further build your credibility and the confidence from a client or other partners that you're working with, and build your credibility when you're having the conversations with them. The more you can move the conversation along and help the client decipher what they're looking at, what they're after, it helps them. It comes down to trust at the end of the day. It helps the clients build trust in us that we know what we're talking about, what we're capable of doing, and we'll happily hold our hands up and say that if it's not, we can positively challenge them if they're not looking at the right thing as well. It's all about building that trust and knowing both sides of the coin, marketing and the technology side of things is important.
So I think I just got a word for this, Simon. So we can just say the pre-sales team is like a jack of all trades in certain ways. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're dealing with the marketing side, you're dealing with sales, you're dealing with the kind of the technology side of things, and it's a full sphere of knowledge that you need to know. Was it master of none, knowledge of all, I think is the terminology to really kind of define the role. Yeah.
I've been adding to that. Now I'll just this is one thing that I found it very interesting. So I just wanted to know, like, is storytelling, necessary for highlighting the key differentiators like the processes, the methodologies, a good documentation, and quality deliverables, which is in turn helpful of transforming a potential lead into a customer, and how?
Good question. And the reason I think I smile is talking about it in the terms of a story can seem quite funny, and putting it in those terms. but it's a story or a journey, and really trying to look at it from the client's perspective when going through this story or this journey, being able to take them on the story or the journey and where they are as the client, why they're maybe looking at Appian, why are they talking to us as Yexle, and being able to have the story go back and forth from their understanding and then us understanding what they've asked and replaying that to them, and taking them on the journey of understanding the technology and how it's going to fit their needs and capabilities. So that in itself is a mini story journey along the cycle of the sales process. But then internally within that, then being able to relate to them in terms of their specific problem, what they're trying to do or why they're looking at a specific technology, and being able to tell them situations where Appian's been used in a similar client and similar situations, and give them that story, as you say, that shows that actually, yeah, it is the right capability. It is the right platform for them to be able to use to build on their process automation within their business, and giving them something relatable that either allows them for us to dig deeper into their business problem or their use case, and it teases out information. If you tell a story to a client or a situation of another business with a similar situation, then you can see them kind of going, yeah, we've got that as well, or oh no, that's not quite right, but what we've got is this. And so all of that is just is information back and forth, and allowing us to build up a picture of their problem situation and how we can help them, but really focusing on, like I say, on the client themselves and understanding their specific use case, and not just telling them a story just because it sounds good.
Yeah. So in short, Simon, it's like, building a rapport. And sometimes, even imagining, probably, does this happen? Like, you're coming up with a story point, and and in this case, are you explaining all the requirements, particularly in an animated way, like a Marvel series kind of thing, probably?
We definitely we build out slide decks and things as part of the journey, and we'll use specific slides to tell of situations or empathize with the client on situations that we've worked on in the past, to show that we're credible in what we're talking about, and we've done the due diligence to showcase that we are wanting to know more in their situation. So we definitely have numerous types of either diagrams or wireframes, and or either using Appian itself as an example wireframe to tell a story of how might their application look in the future of doing a mini demo or a proof of concept, or, like I say, building out wireframes, just to give a bit of a showcase of this is what we've understood, but this is our interpretation from the Appian platform. How does this look and feel to you? And again, that helps us provide more information.
That's very interesting, and I mean, it's completely insightful. So I just got a clear idea. Like, I was just reading about pre-sales, but you have just given me a complete elaborative point of view there of how the pre-sales functions with let's say acting as a bridge, and then about the storytelling point of view. So I mean, that was
adding to the same point, right, Akhil? Just adding to the same point what Simon was mentioned. I remember, we for one of our couple of clients, we already built a kind of video demo. We recorded the video of the solution, and we shared it across, because always visual has more, imprints rather than having it more, the documentation, right? So yes, I remember, like, we did a couple of videos to explain like what exactly is required, and it's very short, like 2-3 minutes, or maybe like less than 4 minutes. So quickly they are able to understand their own language with their language. They're able to connect the dots. Okay, this is where we can use Appian.
As they say, visual makes a lot of difference, and they can actually understand it. That. So as you were saying, that multiple dots can be connected, right? Yeah. So heading on to you, Arvind. So Arvind, can you elaborate about the demo module in the pre-sales, and is always the implementation of the same a smooth sale?
Well, I think picking up from what Simon was saying, right? So the storytelling is an important picture. So pre-sales and sales and implementation and the final project is going to be a little different. But what we are understanding from the customer is going to be the main core specific object, right, from pre-sales perspective, and then you try to pick the important criteria to build a demo. So those demos are going to give a huge impact because we are just giving them like a 5-minute snippet of a video or a demonstration of what is going to be the future implementation of the customer's vision, right? So those perspective, how does it matter? Like, one is what are the criteria or the factors you have understand from the customer, like, showing them the different functionalities and the features of Appian. And second is UI UX. So how do you do the research on the customer, right? So these two are the main important factors when you try to build a demo, right? Let it be 2 minutes, let it be 3 minutes, let it be 10 minutes. But how do I say? How important are we giving the attention to the customer is what is going to matter. So these are the aspects, right, that will go into the demo. And like some features are going to be static, some features are going to be dynamic, and then we show them the different aspects of Appian and its functionalities, right? And those are the things that get decided by the customer whether we are going to go with Appian or not, right? So if so, yes, we already have the base and we understand the customer's landscape, and the customer requirements might change based on what they see as part of the demo, or it might not change, or they can keep that as a change request for the future scope. So it can vary, but to make it simple and short, yes, the demo will be like a baseline for the future implementation.
Yeah.
Right.
If I can just add, I think one of the important parts on the demo versus project perspective is when we're building demos for clients, we make a lot of assumptions. It's showing a snapshot of part of an application.
Yep.
That we've made a load of assumptions that we think is what the client has said. When it comes to the project, we try and mitigate as much as possible the assumptions and drive deep into the requirements and make sure that's both understood to a very detailed standard on both the client side and from with us as well. We want to mitigate as much as possible, take away the assumptions as best as possible so that we all know what we're building within the project. Whereas when it comes to demo, it's much more fluid, much quicker, and we can take a bit more of an artistic license to build that out.
Right. So it just is a word like the customer decides the verdict of the thing, like whether they want to just take it forward or they just want to keep it on hold for a while.
Just to answer those point, right? So there are two sides. One is like, customer might already know about what are the low code options available in the market, and when we show a demo, we always show them like, how impactful your future system is going to be, right? And if the customer is not aware of low code or Appian, right, then the demo is going to be a very useful tip for them. But if the customer is already aware of Appian, demo is going to be like, how as an organization we are concentrating on their requirement is what they will see, rather than I wouldn't say rather than how important we are giving attention to the customers what is going to be observed.
Right. So as we reach the final segment of our podcast, so Sriram, so as a solutions architect, when is the time exactly the pre-sales team approaches you, and what is the workflow that you follow to convert a business case into a solution?
I think you already answered the first part. So the sales team, or the pre-sales team, they reach out to me, when they want to convert the business case into a technical solution, right? And normally this happens during the initial stages of the project, of onboarding a new client, right? Potential client, or maybe when the RFP is underway somewhere in bit. So here, what I have seen here is I work with more close with pre-sales team. First, I'll try to understand their requirement. What is their business case are we trying to solve, right? And first thing which I want to do is whether Appian is a good fit for them, right? Client can come up with a lot of requirements, lot of changes, they have a lot of things on their mind, right? Most of the things will be handled by the pre-sales team. They identify like, okay, what is going to be the good fit? They identify, they fine tune it, and they come back with that. Okay, now this is a business case which can be solved in Appian. They come, with that pre-sales team and technical team. We collaborate internally. We do a brainstorm session internally, to identify like what is the pain area which customer faces. And as was Arvind mentioned earlier, identify like whether the client has already been a part of using Appian or maybe low code or completely new. Accordingly, we had to fine tune our, the technical requirement or maybe the demo, what are you talking about? Fine tune it, make it more customized for the client, you know, and one more point as mentioned, the branding of the clients, right? Always you have to understand what's the client requirement, get their branding, quickly build the demo. It's not like proper, end to end, having all the features in place. Just boom, have a static demo with some hardcoded data here and there, give them visual imprint for the client, giving them, understand like, okay, this is what I asked for. I'm able to get all these answers and understood by the technical team. So we are good with that, and we should be able to progress from there. That's a normally, we interact and get the things solved.
So this actually, creates a new question for me, Sriram. So since you were talking about certain customers, they know about the low code. Let's say they do not know about the low code at all, and they're complete novice to the low code. So how much time does it usually take for you to, convert that business case into a solution?
Okay, that's good question. See, for Appian, see the Appian we say is a low code, right? It definitely means that yeah, we should be able to build a project itself in less than 8 weeks. Right? Entire project I'm talking about. And for a
Yeah.
demo, definitely it shouldn't take more than 2 days, right? Irrespective of whatever it is, right? Now the challenge here is we can build a demo, but we need to go back and explain them about low code first. What exactly, how much fast you can be able to build the application, how quick it is, and how much you'll be able to customize. Because the general terminology when we go with all the clients is low code, then it's more like out of the box feature. So I cannot do any of customizations, right? So we have to explain them. No, this is Appian is a kind of product by something you can go, you can able to customize as per your need. No, we have give us a little bit of background about it. That may take, presentation wise, we'll go run all the presentations, maybe, 20, 30 minutes around it. And then we jump into the demo, which we're going to, which we are, client focuses on. So
Right.
irrespective, building the demo shouldn't take more than, 2 days. And when
Right.
talking about,
So in simple words, Sriram, it's not a Herculean task then. Like, it can't take more than 2 days. Like, we can't just, slog or, delay that. Right?
we shouldn't, because like we always need to be upfront in the market, right? The more we
Yes.
did, we say as low code, definitely we need to be, fast tracked. And if there is, I think we have also worked with some of the clients where, the morning we got the requirement, by end of the evening we had to come convert that into a demo. Okay, quickly build that
Whoa.
UI screens here all the way, get that, because the RFP we have very short deadlines. Sometimes we have to fast track, understand requirement. Okay, we know the business use case, we need the challenge, we need what they're focusing on. Okay, let's build that in RPM. Done. Boom. Couple of UIs and have it ready with the presentations.
Yes. Yes, Andy.
Sorry, I'm just going to add just to that part about
Yeah.
building kind of the pre-sales part and working with the clients and what Sriram's there, just that element of that fast turnaround of either requirements or demos and focusing on what's valuable for the client and being able to do that in a fast time frame builds trust and confidence as well. So that's what it's all about, that the client building their confidence and trust in with you, and for us to be able to showcase and empathize with them on what their problem is and show that what they're looking for and or what we can provide and what they're looking for is value at the end of the day. Just to tie
Right.
those two bits together. Thanks.
So, thank you so much, the three of you, for being part of this episode for the Yexle podcast series. And I'm sure that this session would act as a playbook for all those people who are aspiring to pursue in the pre-sales work front, and also for those IT professionals who want to know more about pre-sales in depth. So once again, I really thank you three for making time to be part of this session and this podcast episode. So this is your host Akhil Navluri signing off. So we will be back with a brand new episode of the Yexle podcast series. So till then, take care, goodbye, see you, and stay tuned. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Gil.
you.
Cheers.
Thank you all.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye.
Cheers. Thank